The Evolution of a Bad Boy, written by Susanna Thompson, narrated by Sarah Sampino. Chapter 5. It had started as a game, but now Dylan wanted Celeste. She was pretty with her baby blue eyes and blonde hair, but she wasn't what he considered a sexy blonde. Her manner was too reserved, and her clothes were too conservative. There was nothing even remotely flirty about her. That was why he had been blown away by her sexy response when he made his playful boyfriend moves on her by her locker. Who knew that she burned so hot beneath that cool exterior? It excited him to uncover this hidden part of her. In his mind, her indiscretion at the party didn't count because she'd been drunk. There had been no alcohol involved in her reaction to Dylan, and it made him hot just thinking about it. She had shivered with only the hint of his lips against her neck. If she was that responsive, then he couldn't wait to see her reaction when he really touched her. He had been considering backing out of their bet because the other girls were suddenly jealous. After this afternoon, Dylan now wanted Celeste so much that he was willing to put up with the drama from his women in order to have her. He didn't understand why they were upset. It wasn't like he had ever been faithful to any of them. They had all been happy with their arrangement until now. Kayla was still upset when she called him that evening. "What makes her so damn special?" "You're special to me too. You know that," he soothed. "Then how come you never called me your girlfriend?" Kayla asked in a hurt voice. "You never said that you wanted to be my girlfriend." This was exactly why he had shunned commitment. He didn't want to deal with clingy girls. "That's because you said you didn't want a girlfriend." Her whiny tone irritated him. "But now you're saying that Miss Goody Two-Shoes is your girlfriend. How do you think that makes me feel?" Now she was talking about feelings, which was another reason that he didn't want a conventional relationship. This entire conversation was anathema to him. "Where is this jealousy coming from? You never had a problem before with me seeing other girls." "That was before you picked another girl over me. You're spending the whole weekend with her. You never did that with me. You don't even want to sleep over half the time. You just leave after we do it." She was getting more worked up as she went through her litany of his offenses. "Have I ever left you unsatisfied?" Dylan asked, trying to get her to focus on how much fun they had together. "Don't you ever get lonely?" She had finally managed to get to him with that plaintive tone of her voice as she asked that question. He hadn't known that she felt this way, because she was always up for a good time. "I'm not going to change, Kayla. You need to find someone else if you're looking for more than sex." "Like you found someone else?" Her voice held a note of bitterness now. "This is the way it has to be for now. She won't sleep with me if I'm screwing around," he explained. "So it's still about the sex," she mused. "That's the way it starts with girls like her. They're sneaky," Kayla warned him. "Pretty soon, she'll have you wrapped around her finger." "You've got it wrong. I'll have her legs wrapped around me pretty soon," he said confidently. "Don't bet on it." The phrase she chose was an odd coincidence with what was going on between him and Celeste, but she didn't know that. "She's already changed you, Dylan. You just don't see it yet." Her jealousy was making her read more into the situation than there was. He was glad that he had never felt strongly enough about anyone to experience the emotion himself. "I'm not going to change for anyone." He was doing the same thing he always had, but it just might take a little longer with Celeste. Maybe not, though, because she was obviously afraid that she'd lose the bet when she told him to keep his hands to himself the next day at school. "You're the one who said to act like you're my girlfriend," he reminded her. "That doesn't mean that we have to make out in public," she said. "I agree. I'd much rather make out with you in private." He was gratified to see her flush slightly. "You've been thinking about that too, haven't you, Celeste?" About being alone with me. Stop saying my name that way. She broke eye contact, and he saw her stiffen. He turned to look and saw Andrew walking in their direction. Dylan returned his attention to her as he stepped closer. What way, Celeste? He reached out to tilt her chin, and her startled eyes met his. What are you doing? Celeste asked desperately. He didn't answer, because he knew that she wouldn't stop him, not in front of her ex-boyfriend. Dylan simply leaned in and kissed her the way he almost had yesterday. To his surprise, she began to kiss him back, and even parted her lips for him after he ran his tongue over her bottom lip. She tangled her hand in his hair as his tongue played with hers. As much as he enjoyed kissing her, Dylan wished that they were alone. He wanted to know that she was responding to him and not just putting on a show for Andrew. Their kissing came to an abrupt halt as Andrew violently pulled Dylan away from Celeste. Leave her alone! Get out of my face, man, Dylan warned. Let go of him! Celeste angrily yanked Andrew's arm. She doesn't want you, Andrew said. She's just doing this to piss me off. Now Celeste was in Andrew's face. Why would it piss you off? You're not my boyfriend anymore, so stay the hell out of my life. She looked furious as she stared him down until he stalked off down the hall. The warning bell rang, and Celeste seemed to forget about Dylan as she started walking to her next class. He watched her until she was swallowed up by the crowd, and then he went to his class. No matter what Andrew said, he knew that she wanted him. She had kissed him with too much passion for it to be just for show. He would find out for sure when he kissed her in private this weekend.